A lot of talk on what this does for your mortgage. What about home building? Joining me is HIA Chief Economist Tim Reardon. Thanks for your time. Another rate rise. I guess if people were sort of weighing up a new home, a major reno, they're probably going, not yet.
Well, certainly there's a cohort of Australians that are doing that. Anyone that's sensitive to a change in the cash rate, and we can see that's particularly the case in Sydney and Melbourne. Those Sydney and Melbourne basins are seeing new home building activity and renovation work slowing very quickly, anywhere where they're sensitive to changes in the cash rate. But outside of that, we still have a very large volume of building work that's on the ground that's going to keep unemployment low at least until early 2024.
Okay.
Yes, next year we certainly are expecting to see this rise in the cash rate start to cause the building industry to slow.
But that's not far off. So basically we had this huge demand during COVID. Finding a builder was a nightmare, I can personally attest. But then that runs out and then you've got all this slack in the system, and slack's another word for what companies folding up, trying to find maybe business with state or federal governments on the infrastructure pipeline?
Yeah, we're certainly through that insolvency cycle, and what we're seeing in any data we're seeing at the moment is a shadow of last year's challenges. But as the market slows, we don't see the insolvencies. We see insolvencies on the upside, not on the downside. But yes,
because of those building costs.
Yeah, it's those the fixed price contracts and rapid increasing costs.
Okay.
Builders bear those costs, and that's what that challenge was. We're through that now. We're looking at far more stable prices. We're looking at labour costs stabilising, and I don't think that we're going to see a significant reduction in the cost of skilled trades. But yes, the mining industry is still employing large numbers of people. We're looking at the construction sector outside of home building remains strong, largely off the back of government civil projects.
Right.
So those workers will continue to get absorbed.
Well, seemingly we're almost still a lack of workers, but then it gets back to home building and these big targets and 1.2 million homes. Well, are you basically saying that won't happen, or we're going to fall way behind next year? Because you can't turn that around in a few months when the RBA is still talking about maybe another rate rise.
Yeah. No, it is certainly going to be very challenging for the government to achieve the 1.2 million target, and we need to achieve that given the underlying demand for homes and that significant rental pressure that there is. But 2024 is not a good start to achieving that 1.2 million. And in order to get there, we do need to retain these skilled workers that we've built up over the course of the pandemic boom. We do need to retain them through this down cycle. So that's going to rely on...
Another pull forward sort of scheme, is that what you're calling for?
Well, there is government investment, particularly at a state level and at a federal level, in public housing stock, and this is the right time in the cycle to do that. We have seen the federal government program announced in this year's budget to attract superannuation companies to invest in medium and high-rise apartments, which is also the right time in the cycle to do that. But the last one that we need is to get foreign investors back into the market. We imposed a range of punitive stamp duties on them in the 2016 to 18 cycle for very bizarre reasons. And if we can attract those
loosen those rules, you think?
Certainly.
Could be controversial.
If you lower... So foreign investors are really important for building apartments.
Okay.
Foreign investors can't buy established homes, so they don't force up established
They buy new
prices.
ones, and often it might be for a student who's studying here or so on, and sell it down the track. Is that the...
Well, they're prohibited from buying investment properties unless you're an Australian resident. So they can only build new homes. They can't live in them. So they are the solution to our problem of increasing that dwelling stock. So if we can continue on that path, then yes, 2024 won't be a good start to that 1.2 million.
All right.
But we can get there.
Tim Reardon, thanks for your time.
Pleasure.